We've got a pretty respectable amount of trees that haven't been bucked or split yet from when we took them all down to build this thing. Just slowly trying to get rid of that pile. So, in no way does what I'm about to say need to be said at all, because it's literally the same for everybody. Whether you're like the CEO of a giant company, you have a regular job, you're just someone like me who decided to make videos and put them on the internet. Just the list of things that need to be done is kind of endless. Should really come as a surprise, but in my brain I thought once like the garage was done, that all the garage stuff would be done. Not really the case. How good did this turn out? Nice. So yeah, that wood pile, that's still like part of the garage process. Whoa. I love how long these shirts are. Ugh. The new logo on the chest, so good. I'm gonna wear this one. Do you think the shirt and the hat is just like a little much? Now that I've said it, endless amounts of things to do seems like a great overarching theme for this video, because I have a bunch of little things I want to do to a few of the bikes in the fleet. So I'm going to go ahead and start with easiest and least time consuming first, and that is Angela's street stomper. While we were doing Bike and Wine, it was shifting a little funny. I think after she had ridden it a couple times, all the cables and everything finally set into place. It just needs the minorest of adjustment, but we also got caught mildly in the beginnings of the hurricane on the way back. So the chain got wet, it got a little rusty, and I'm really only dealing with it now. This bike should probably just live with wet condition lube on it all the time. Man, this thing shifts good. Holy moly. I want to be clear, if you're new here or if you've been here for a while, I am not a big fan of old school drivetrains. I don't really like them, but I do love 8-speed stuff. 8-speed stuff can just be like kind of not tuned that great and a little bit broken and crappy, and it still works really great, which I love. Like 11-speed, 12-speed, you just kind of don't get that sort of, I don't know, tolerance out of it. This thing's good to go. That was easy. Feeling good. Next is this thing right here, which is also going to require a cameo from Fast Norton. What needs to be done here, I think, falls under the development category. So when you get a custom frame made by Merino, you can tell them what chainring size clearance you want. And you see, because I'm a silly goose, I asked for chainring clearance of 25 to 28 tooth. I don't know why. I think maybe in my brain, I thought I was actually gonna buy a crankset. I literally never do stuff like that. I usually just use parts that are hanging around. This chainring is 32 teeth, 4 teeth over what I asked for maximum clearance for. It rubs. Now, Fast Norton on this crankset has a 30 tooth, 30. So I'm just gonna swap them over. Biggest thing is I just don't wanna pull the cranksets off. Like, that's literally what's been holding me back. And this is why. Toe strap required. So this guy will go over here, and this guy will go over here. Yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. I do have mild levels of concern of how easy these bolts are going to be to undo. Never mind. That wasn't that tight. Maybe it's just Shimano ones that are super tight. I'll tell you what else is cool. Both of these are the steel version. So longer lasting, a lot less expensive. I like that. Okay, good to go. Now would be a good time to leave my favorite comment. You know, you should really clean your stuff every once in a while, especially if you're gonna take it apart and put it back together. I'm all good, thanks very much. Okay, that one's done. This one's still on the docket. I just want these theory pedals from Fast Norton to go on to my dirt jumper because these have metal pins and they're big and they're awesome. And this thing's supposed to have clipless pedals anyway, so these need to go on there. Oh yeah, big and brutal. Ooh. Okay, and the final of the never-ending list of tasks, at least for today's fleet update. The trellis-framed Far Twin T with the rigid fork is getting a drivetrain, and it is getting a box Prime 9 drivetrain. See, the single speed setup is fun, but it is too tall for how I kind of want to ride this bike. What I could have done was get a cog and like lengthen the chain, but the Prime 9 was originally slated to go on this build anyway, so seems like an appropriate time to do it. Derailleur. This is the chain, shifter, and cassette. So 11 tooth through to 50 tooth cassette, 9 speed. Clutch derailleur, really strong clutch. And yeah, because this is all externally routed, I don't have to mess around with anything. This should be a pretty quick install. So single speed chain off, rear wheel out, single speed cog off, cassette on, derailleur on, shifter on. Get the cable housing to the proper length. Rear wheel back in. Just a quick and dirty limit screw adjustment here before putting the chain on. Attach the shift cable and test it. Nice. This box Prime 9 drivetrain kind of sets up like any old 9-speed drivetrain of the past. It's pretty simple. I thought it was shifting a little stiff, so I actually opened up the clutch to adjust it a little bit. There's a security screw in there, which is a little bit annoying, but after some fiddling around, turns out the clutch wasn't too tight. I just had the B-limit screw way too far in. It's good now. Okay, pretty excited to try this drivetrain on here, but not today. I may have underestimated just how tired I would be after, 3 hours of cutting, bucking wood, and then chopping it. I'm pretty tired. I do want to say though, I think having a box drivetrain on a fire bike is just kind of cool. They're both like very BMX influenced companies. And I am a very BMX influenced individual, so this just makes sense. I think this vlog is done now. I hope it wasn't boring. It was brought to you by Lewis, who bought the version 1 of this shirt. It's like the gray one with like the black on it. I'm gonna make this one live.